Where'd you get the original headlights?
Those are out of one of our customer cars that we're doing right now, which is great that we have some original examples to go by.
But we're not going to actually use these on a
No,
vehicle?
these go back to his car. They'll get restored and put back when we do his car.
Oh, okay.
But they were already out and they were already on the shelf, so I'm using them as a template, which is great because there's a lot of pieces that make this crazy thing up.
The amount of work that Ryan put in to fabricate is where I would get lost at. I mean, it's a lot easier to sit there with the original one and be able to put it together because you do have that to reference, which is a huge amount of help.
You can kind of see how it came apart and it goes right back together. This stuff was all sort of new.
So this is all bolted together like this in the car, and see, then it pivots, and
just like the factory one does.
This piece here, which I have the kit headlight doors.
So that's a duplicate of what we got there.
So this is a duplicate, and it will pivot.
And then he's going to be able to close that door like that.
That's awesome.
And that ends him up with what we have here.
Essentially there, yeah.
There's such a learning process, like with any of this stuff, and no two cars are the same, so expect the unexpected.
Ryan, would you say this is the most complicated part of making a Roadrunner into a Superbird?
It's one of them. It's been a good journey. It's a learning experience. It's a puzzle.
Yeah.
This is probably the biggest puzzle. Like the wing, it goes on kind of, it's basically a big part.
Yes.
The nose cone, we kind of get it. The hood modification, but this is pretty big.
To have to make function and withstand usage.
So this will go on to that. This will be a complete headlight unit. He's already got the vacuum pods that go on the back of it, and that's what goes into making just one headlight function on one of these cars. But it's right in the spirit of the factory one, just a little bit better in some ways.
What more could you ask for?
It was fairly crude from the factory. It's fairly crude now. We just kind of, I think, expounded on that a little bit and made it just a little bit better.
I think we probably put more thought process into restoring the cars than they did probably originally on some of these smaller things, like the headlights.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So basically you've got this thing apart right now so that Will can do the primering on all the pieces.
Correct.
Get them painted, get the nose back together again, and then the nose goes on as one unit, is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I might feel more comfortable about building one in the future than I was when this project started. All right, so that's where we're at on that. Got it? Simple,
Yeah.
Clear as mud.
Okay.
All right, good job. So with all the pieces done, Will needs to do his primer work on them. Once the primer work's done, he can paint them. Meanwhile, the car will get its final block. It can come in here, get torn apart, and we'll start painting some FJ5.